What is up, folks? Mio done here, coming to you live on this glorious Monday afternoon. Hope you guys have a great had past tense. Okay, benda yang telah berlaku. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Previously, Saturday and Sunday, a bit of a rest time. Ujung bulan ni. Yeah, it is actually the 28th of February today. So we are literally at the end of the first 2 months of the year 2022. Oh my goodness, 2 bulan sudah berlalu. It has been 2 months since we've entered the year 2022, and time flies. I tell you guys. Hopefully, you guys are having as much motivation as you possibly could conjure up to make sure that your lives are great, your lives are at ease all the time. And of course, make sure you guys download the ACTnow mobile community app on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store to experience the magicalness, the wonderness, and the all the great things that the app can actually help you with for you to become a better member of the society. And yeah, today is another Monday, as mentioned. Another Monday, another day. Well, for Mondays here at Act Now Hot Issue What's for Lunch, it's always a special day because we have a very special segment that we've just started last week, and this week we are going to be continuing that in the Act Now YB Sehari. And to help me to go through all of that today is none other than my partner in crime, Mr. Melvin Alam. Hey, Melvin, what is
Hi.
up?
How's your weekend?
My weekend was great, was fantastic. I had a bit of a staycation during my weekend just to run away from all of my issues and my problems.
Well, you can't run away. You have to take care of your kids.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Of course lah, my kid was around lah. I bawa dia, kita duduk hotel in KL, duduk dalam bilik, lepak-lepak. Just a bit of a change of scenery rather than nampak jalan kat depan rumah je. So now, so then we actually were able to see the KL skyline, which was fun actually. Fun. What did you
Oh,
do
so
on your
you're actually
weekend?
running away from home rather than from your stress.
Basically lah, one way about it. How was your weekend, Melvin?
Oh, well, yesterday was quite meaningful. We had an event in a school in Sharlam.
Mm.
Uh, yes, we are there to distribute some aids to the flood victims and also distribute face masks and also to announce our coming COVID awareness program that is
Mm.
coming. That means you're involved with the two.
Yeah,
Those
I am.
who wants to know more, I mean, they're concerned if they have contact. A lot of people, I mean, we hear every day in the paper, but a lot of people panic when they contacted positive. They somehow do not know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And for you guys, our fellow viewers, our beloved viewers, if you want to know how exactly you can control yourself, you can take care of yourself, please be on the lookout on the Act Now Trooper Facebook page because the announcements of this glorious thing that we're going to be doing will be up very, very soon, very, very shortly. So do
Yes.
keep yourself tuned in for that. But now let's get into the topic of what we have today, which is YB Sehari, which is a show that we brought up just for you guys to really understand and to give an opportunity to people out there what they want to do for their community and what they can actually do better, and what are the things that they believe that they can help their society with. And with that, ladies and gents, let's introduce our guest for this week. She comes all the way from Penang, the land of nasi kanak, the land of char kway teow, the land of the highest highway in Malaysia right now. Without further ado, let's bring onto the screen Miss Jazz Tan. Hey Jazz, good afternoon.
Hi,
Hi,
Jess. Welcome to our
well,
show.
Yes. How are you doing, Jazz? I mean, is the weather up in Penang better than what we have here in KL?
um, looks okay. I'm not too sure what you have in KL right now, but yep, looks okay here.
Well, I think today is fine weather. Yesterday we had almost a full day of drizzling, but nothing compared to our in Kelantan and Terengganu. I believe they have experienced a very bad floods now right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
especially today as well.
exactly. Has Penang been raining as well, or no?
It has been drizzling as well, so a little
Mm.
bit here, a little bit there.
A little bit here, a little bit there. But one thing's for sure that you are definitely in the middle of things when it comes to wanting to make a difference for your community, wanting to make a difference amongst your own people around you on the great island of Penang, wanting to bring more improvement for the betterment of the society of Penang. So before we actually dive into what it is that you want to do, what it is that you believe that you can make a difference, let us know more about who this mysterious Jazz Stan really is. Jazz, please introduce yourself a bit. Give us a bit of your background.
Sure, sure. Okay, so salam sejahtera semua. So nama saya Jestan. Currently, I'm the pengerusi of Bunda Pulau Pinang, and I'm also the CEO of a social enterprise called usetoday.com. I've been doing social work for the past 10 years now with the youth community. I was also elected as the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia under the category of social entrepreneur. I funded thousands of youth projects across, and my background is actually computer science. I'm a software engineering student, and my passion has always been, serving the community, berkhidmat untuk masyarakat lah, terutamanya golongan yang amat memerlukannya. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. I mean, even though it's a little, but that was actually a lot that we just found out about Jazz Stan in that 1 minute of your introduction. And also before we actually move on, I just want to ask you that your background is computer science. You've been a typical Malaysian down there. Living your life, wanting to do better for yourself and your family as well. What inspire you to wanting to do more, not just for yourself but for your community as well? Where did that inspiration come from? Where's your where did that come from? Share with us.
Actually, that's this personal lah, but I'm just also gonna share. I lost my dad when I was 14 years old, back in Penang, and he was involved in gangsterism. And this created a lot of change in my life. I told myself that I lost my dad when I was 14, so I told myself that one day when I grow up, I want to keep as many kids off the streets as possible. I want to put them in as much healthy activities as possible. So which is why I step up my social enterprise, and also to help the community around me. So yeah.
Definitely, if your dad was around, he would definitely be very, very proud of you. So sorry to hear about your loss, by the way, Jess. But I believe, as any parent out there, I believe that he will be looking down on you, up high in the heavens, being very proud of you of what you are doing right now and what you are planning to do moving forward. Very, very great indeed. So, Melvin, shall we start off with a list of questionnaires? Very soalan yang orang kata menjolok perasaan Jazz to put her on the spot, wanting to be, a part of the community. All right, so let's just hit it. You hail from Penang. You hail from Pulau Pinang, Pulau Mutiara, Penang, the great, one of the greatest islands in Malaysia. Obviously, you want to say the greatest, but there's also Langkawi, there's also Redang, there's also, other kind of islands. So I don't want to give you too much of a credit for that. But yeah,
sorry,
sorry,
I have to interrupt. Just now I put on my hand. Penang is more than an island. They have the mainland too.
Yeah, correct. It is very true. And I mean, just to put this out there, Penang is still also much bigger than Singapore. Is that correct?
You mean in land size?
Land size, yeah, obviously, right?
Not really.
Not really, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I salah because I wanted to poke some fun to our friends in Singapore, but nevertheless, I purposely let's not defer to what we want to talk about today. Pulau Pinang, you have plans to actually wanting to run for office, running to do different, wanting to do improvement in on the island of Penang itself. Why did you choose Penang Island? Obviously, the fact that it is your background, it is where you were brought up with. Is that as simple as the reason why you wanna, be an adun for Penang?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, I grew up here. I actually did all my studies, everything, right here in Penang, before I actually moved to Kuala Lumpur. So I was in actually KL, Selangor for quite a bit, around 6 to 7 years. before I decided to come back here to my Pulau Mutiara here to serve my community. So all this while during my early 20s, I've been devoted a lot of my social work here in Penang, and of course, a part of this is a part of the sentimental value. I also have a lot of my neighbors, families, and friends here, which I'm committed to serve, especially. So yeah, this is which is why I actually decided to come back here and set foot here and see how I can improve the community further. So yeah.
All right, lovely. A very, very well mannered answer as any politicians would answer. But obviously you mean it. I mean, it is definitely something that you hold it very close to your heart. Something that you really, want to make a difference. Hence why you wanna be, that person to make that change. Speaking about changes, let's dive down to the issues, or should I say the predicaments, the challenges that your people in the community are facing right now. Share with us what are the kind of things that is being highlighted by the people, by the people in your area. Entity, which area is that, if you don't mind sharing?
Entity is basically Sungai Pinang is kawasan Julutong in Penang especially.
Jelutong, Penang. So what are the major concerns and major challenges that have been risen by the people down there, by the riot down there? Share with us.
Okay. So I've been with a lot of I've been working with my team. So we have been going down on ground, jalan-jalan, meet orang, right? And then a lot of them actually also reverted back to us. So I can conclude that there are three issues, tiga isu utama, terutamanya di Sungai Pinang dan Julutong as a whole. So first of all is actually Penang currently is in heavy development. So there's a lot of development in terms of like buildings, bangunan-bangunan tinggi, everything into towards Penang. So the major problem that Penang is facing right now from the development is that we are facing pollution issue, right? Isu alam sekitar. That's number one. Number two is actually for the elderly citizen to cope with technology. So kegunaan technology, especially from the elderly citizen, they have problems with that. And Penang basically have around 1.5 to 1.7 million people here, and around 300,000 of them are actually senior citizens that's in within Penang, and they face a lot of issues, especially during this season, right? Like COVID season, that they have to, there's a sudden change in lifestyle that they have to cope with, and it's actually quite scary for them. And then issue yang ketiga, which is COVID itself, right? COVID itself changes a lot of behavior. Here we're in an island, right? Now that we all of us, even from myself from Kuala Lumpur, I came back to Penang because of all these issues. So there's a lot of things that's changing. So these are the three main issues that I see in Penang.
Melvin?
Okay. Now I see that the three issues. The threat now also advocates like pollutions that's been around not in Penang. We have also a lot of facing a lot of buildings. Of course, development is essential, but a lot of those waste, they dump it, they pollute the air, the river it is, and of course, that's interesting. Senior citizen like me.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Jess. I just had to laugh there. I'm sorry.
Well, we need some laughter now before lunch. so we do have some time find activities in coping with the new technology. And of course, COVID-19 is always close to everyone's heart. Yesterday, we have a program of awareness talk, and coming week, we have 3 live shows by professors from universities. Try to, we're going to share how do we cope in our new norm. So it's very important. But why do you pick Entity, Jess? And do the people there know you first?
Yeah.
Are they aware of you?
So as I mentioned previously, I was born and bred here. I stay in Julutong. So all my community, I've been very actively involved in community service, right? Kidmat, and especially when there's a volunteerism activity or even programs from the government. Previously, I will always join and offer myself to volunteer. So I actually do know a lot of leaders of communities around me. So to answer your question, I believe most of the community members would actually know my existence.
Okay,
Cool,
lovely. I
cool.
mean, like that's one of the things that you need to make sure of, because again, to represent the people need to know who you are, and not just not just who you are, but what are the things that you are doing for them to make sure that these matters are being addressed, these challenges are being looked into for them to be better. You mentioned about environment, about
Mm,
the elderlies, as well as what we're facing right now with COVID-19 issues, which is a never-ending thing. I want to touch about environment first of all.
sure.
Yes, everyone out there wants to make a change in regards for them to have a for them to live in a better environment. Nak kurangkan pollution lah, sampah make sure terjaga lah, make
Mm,
sure tak ada asap berlebihan kawasan kilang lah.
mm,
We've heard this talk over and over and over again, if you don't mind me saying. Now, you, being a young person that you are, yes, great ideas that comes with young people that you want to make a change. But really, what are the things that would you like to implement ataupun benda yang you nak melakukan perubahan to make sure that the environmental stage of it will be looked into and will make a change for the better? What are your plans?
Yeah. So recently we just took a tour to Sungai Pinang, and
Mm,
then especially also with the Julutong dump site, and even recent case with this Pulau Burong case, which the dump site got caught on fire. So these are all the issues that I am aware of. So what I did was I actually put together a research paper, basically a solution paper to the state government. So the solution state paper itself, termasuklah, a solution such as like we actually suggested like community service punishment. For example, if
mm,
somebody actually pollute a river, right, or engage with dumping of materials and things like that, so that particular person itself have to clean it up instead of penalizing them with monetary. So that was one
mm,
of the suggestion. Then followed by, of course, a lot of education, funding also. So for example, funding such as like we open up like competitions for especially university students to run their R&D within the polluted areas. Like how can you build machines, for example, right? Little machines that can help clean up the environment, or even to convert polluted water to clean water. So these are all the ideas that I suggested in the paper. That includes also like open tender also. Because to manage all these dump sites, for example, is actually open up to companies of waste management. But I believe that we have a lot of local companies or even local talents, like I mentioned, some of the universities. If they were to able to take up this project, they can also bring an impact locally to our community. And last but not least is also to use the technology,
Mm.
where we mentioned that if there's not local companies, also we could also open up tender for external companies from overseas to actually train our locals to also handle all this waste and pollution locally. So these are all the long-term, short-term programs. Solution paper that we put together with the state government. So yeah.
Marvin?
Cool, it's complete. I would say, first of all, education, the public, the people is very important because all this started with us.
Mm.
You know, you see
Exactly.
that the picture is the rubbish does not find its way to the river. It's us. We're the culprit. You know, we need to be educated. And I
Exactly.
was quite surprised. This is the Sungai Pinang itself, and it's in Julotong, and I believe it's in the heart of city. And what impressions do it give to anyone? Not don't say about tourists now. To us, like we visit to Penang and see this,
Mm.
so we have to start educating the public, which is just you're the right. I think you score full marks on that because I always highlight on educations. It's very important, and also instead of finding them Monday, let's make them do social work. Let them clean the river themselves,
Exactly.
you know, and let them experience it. You pollute it, and this is what happened. Because the governments, the authorities spend a lot of money cleaning up rubbish and scooping up all this rubbish from the river. So I think, yes, I think, Jess, you have made good suggestions, and I do hope that it will be materialized.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and, and just for your information, Jazz, I mean, like, Melvin has been championing this for the longest time. Siapa yang buang sampah, dialah yang kutip. Siapa yang buat pollution, dialah yang sendiri repair all these things. So he's been championing this for the longest time. Thank you for picking up the mantle, at least for your area in Sungai Pinang, wanting to make this a reality. And just to, whatchamacallit, just to provoke you a bit. I suka, my style is always like to provoke people. Yes, again, you like to do all these things. You like to implement this, as we saw in the pictures just now. You have also highlighted this and presented your paper down to the Penang Exco, wanting to get your voices heard, and not just you, the people of your community as well. People say these things all the time. Promises are being mentioned all the time. Why do you think you can make this change? Why do you think that with these ideas and these paperwork that you have presented, why do you think that you can make this change? Do you have enough support behind you, or is it just gonna be you, one woman show, going out there and banging on your gong, and just wanting to make sure that people listen and hear to what you have to say and do what you want people to do? Is it going to be that simple, Jazz?
So thank you for the question. Definitely it's not that simple. Definitely it's not a one-man show. Actually, throughout this whole program, I've reached out to a lot of NGOs and also community leaders, plus of course our own Muda members. So there's around 2,000 of us right now. So when we actually raised up in numbers as well. So it's not only that we are raising up in a research paper point of view. I think this is also a very reason why we managed to secure our meeting with the YBX Exco. We mentioned to them we have the numbers as well. So I think it's a check and balance here. So with the community support, I think for the community itself, because I'm not doing this for me, right? Of course, this is also for me because I stay here, but it's also for the community, and everybody is at stake here. So if the pollution, everybody's health is going to suffer. So this is the reason why I think by having everybody together, because everybody has their own stake. So when I bring this up, everybody have their own stake to actually work together in solving this problem.
And is that person you? You are the person to do that? You're young. You have lack of experience. I mean, like, Malvin has lived on this God's earth for like 80 years already. He has more experience than anyone
Oh,
else.
okay,
I
okay.
mean, at
Thank you.
least on this.
I thought I am older than that, probably.
No. What I'm trying to say is that, again, I mean, politics. You see, how the trend is. I mean, like, again, not wanting to touch about politics, but people in general tend to believe other individuals who are older, because again, diorang dah makan garam lebih. They have lived on this God's given earth a bit more longer, and they understand how things work better versus, for instance, a person such as yourself. So why should they believe in you, Jess? Saja kan I cucuk soalan ni. Ambil.
Well, I only have one word. We have the energy.
Nampak Melvin dia tak larat dah. Melvin dah penat. That's why.
No, it's not. I mellow with age. The more I grow older, the more what call that chili padi will be. More spice. But
More
it's
spicy
true.
lah.
Yeah, but just it's true. A lot of I would say politicians. You are politicians because they are in the field, but they also claims to be a leader. So when they turu padang and they want the votes, they will say, "Oh, I have this for you. I want to do this for your communities." Sudah jadi, YB sudah terlupa apa dia cakap. Mereka cakap. I think that is very true. Because I say 3 hours, I have more experience. I see more what they bring out. When I need your help, I will say I will do the best for you. Believe in me. After that, they really focus on what they have preached. But okay, Jess, I also would love to see you. I mean, in the game of war, in the game of politics, you either win or you lose, isn't it? But I
Okay.
hope that whoever who doesn't win should not give up hope and still advocates what they believe in for that
Mm.
constitutions.
Yeah,
Understand.
Yeah.
and touching on that, Jazz, I know that we actually saved this question for quite a bit, but the fact that Melvin's actually touched upon this, yes, you wanna get into the hot seat, you wanna be that person to
Mm.
champion this, you wanna be that person to be, the go-to person, for all these things to happen. May say it is, for instance, that it was not your opportunity, it was not the chance that will be given to you should, let's say, down the line, during GE15 or whatever it is, you don't get to be in that
Mm.
hot seat. Will this deter you from wanting to make a change in your community still?
Oh, it's actually a very interesting question because
Hmm.
I've been doing this for the past 10 years, not
Yeah.
being in any seat at all. It doesn't stop me now, even with
Mhm.
or without a seat. I think this is
Yeah.
something that I would like to clarify. But
Oh,
by
good.
having a seat, it will empower me more to actually do better. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Lovely.
Good answer.
Great
Lovely.
answer. Okay. So now let's just change gears a bit. We've been talking about, again, the community, what would you want to do with the community. So now let's talk about how the community can work, in a much better situation. Just wanted to get your opinion on this. Do you believe in having a good relationship with local councils, government agencies in solving communities issues? Because at the end of the day, communities are just communities. Can they stand on themselves, or is it so much better for them to actually work together with the local councils and the government agencies? And should they are not able to, what do you see the challenge that lays, because that lays upon it?
Yeah, I think this is actually a very beautiful question
Mm,
because yeah, as I was going on ground, and I noticed that it's my answer to that is actually definitely it's very very important for
mhm,
even rakyat, right, to at least know their aduns and to know their councils, right, that's evolved in around that area. Why? Because basically what I did was actually I did a kunjung hormat to all these different departments, like for example in Penang, yaitu MPPP, or MPSP. So these are the people which I mean, for me in Muda now, right? Basically, we become the pengantaran dengan rakyat and also all these different stakeholders. So if there's any problem, also what we did was we helped the rakyat to report those cases, especially like with MPPP. If there's any pokok tumbang ke, or there's a dump site, and right, if it's right in front of your house, you need to know what is the number to call, right? Rather than
mm,
you actually facilitating it on your own. And then when there's a kebakaran, for example, or bencana, who are the first person you can reach out to. So these are very very important, and not only on the state side, but let's say from the federal side, it's very important for you to know all the agencies, because there's all types of bantuan, like from the state side in Penang, it's I Sejahtera, where they give 150 ringgit to all the senior citizens. And then on the federal side, we got the BKN, that they can actually get support from. So all these are very very important, especially for the rakyat to be involved in. So yeah, so to answer your question, yes.
Yes, can I interrupt? I think Jess could also suggest using ACTnow platform.
Of course, of course.
I was about to say that. I baru je nak put the words in her mouth, but yeah, you were faster than I was, Melvin. Yeah, definitely, it is something that it is very important for all parties to actually work together on this, for you to be able to live in perfect harmony. I mean, like, no, perfect is not actually good word. In actually in a good harmony, because nothing is perfect
Yes.
out there. There's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be challenges that moving forward. But when it comes to Jazz, when it comes to community issues, let's start with community. Let's start with the community itself. Contohnya, like, rubbish dumping, illegal businesses. How do you go about that? Because like in our show, especially in hot issue, we highlight a lot of things when it comes to money, loan sharks, for instance, those kind of things that invite criminal activities. And again, I hope I'm not too far in saying that, because, like, what your late father had to endure before, the life that he had before. I'm so sorry for that. But how can you and the community, together with the local agencies or the local community councils, can actually work to curb these things from happening? What would your suggestions be?
Yeah, I think for us, especially here in Penang, every time if there's an issue raised to us, right, by our community, first of all, we provide the support. I would say mental support first, right? That's where we
Mm,
are here for them. Number one. Then number two is actually we understand the problem first. We practically have a SOP that we came out with already. So it depends on which kind of issues, then we will channel it across which government agencies. So, like in your case, for example, let's say if there's just now you mentioned there's a financial issue, right, for
mm,
loan sharks, right? So, what we do is that we refer that particular person to agencies such as like AKPK. So we are the one who help establish, because sometimes people are afraid, or sometimes people they have no knowledge on how to submit paperwork and things like that. We also have a whole bunch of lawyers with us. Some are student lawyers as well, which they volunteer their time to actually help out, to help them to put those paperwork up and to help them to get the support that they actually need. So yeah, so these are how we actually handling it here in Penang.
mhm.
Oh,
Melvin?
great. Great. I say I'm very impressed. I think because you have devote yourself for 10 over years in social issues, helping out the unfortunate. I think you are well equipped. I think this is something that is helpful for a potential candidates, because I think the committee needs someone, not just a good speaker, but a good issue. I mean, problem solver. Because a lot of riots committee will come you because they have exhausted their ways. They would love to see you, not necessarily provide a solution, but to assist them,
Mm.
to bring them to a better light. I
Mhm.
think your 10 years of experience in the social world definitely will assist communities there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So yeah, I mean, like at the beginning of the show, you've already highlighted what you want to do in regards of the environmental issues that your community is actually facing. You also did mention that you want to cater to the elderlies. The fact that they need more help. They need maybe guidance and so on and so forth. So, what are your plans about that to help the elderlies of Penang, specifically in Jelutong, your area at Sungai Pinang?
Okay, actually, what we did with our team is also that we actually set up booths, right? We work with markets, right? So we identify areas where senior citizens will actually go to. So especially one of it is actually the market, right? So the wet market. So what we did was we actually set up a booth there, and we assist those senior citizens, especially when applying for the BKN or even the iSejahtera, right? For them to actually get those funding, because a lot of them probably do not know how to, update their information. So informasi over the counter, or even because of COVID, right? They cannot go to a specific counter, and the government actually mentioned they will actually bank into them directly. So they do not how to update the info. They do not even know how to, let's say if they change the address and they are not
Mhm.
aware, or even their phone number, or even their bank account sometimes, and they do not know how to update those info. So what we did was we actually set up a counter to help them to do all those stuff. So this is actually one of the way that we are supervising. So as when we talk to the welfare department, right, they mentioned that there's almost 30,000 senior citizens who have yet to update their information, and there's no way for the state government to actually channel it over to them. So we are assisting every possible way that we can from our side. So yeah.
No, 30,000 is not little. Okay, that's actually a lot of hits. That's a lot of people that
As-
that are unfortunately being set aside because you know of the lack of information that they have been giving. So, yeah, it is great that you are actually engaging with them as much as you can to make sure that their welfare is being taken care of as quickly as you possibly can. Now, what about COVID? COVID is a world issue, Jazz. I mean, like, not just in Malaysia, but everywhere else in the world. We also been hearing reports coming out from Singapore that their number of cases have even supersede Malaysia in regards of number of positive cases out there. Is Penang ready with what ever that is coming in regards of COVID with the new norm? Because a lot of people are saying that we need to live with it now. I mean, like it is among us that we need to learn how to live with it. Is that the right way to do? You think in regards of handling the matter at hand?
Yeah. I can give you one example which I did. What I did was actually I went to a nearby community, basically an apartment, right? And when I visited the apartment, I went down and I spoke to all the SMEs around, right, the small businesses. So as you know, COVID definitely the first impacted industry. It's the SMEs.
Yep.
So when I spoke to one of the barber shop, right, he actually told me about COVID, and then less people, to actually came over to his store, and then to his shop. So I actually suggested him. I said now COVID, right? Everybody is doing this new norm. For example, people are ordering online, right? So everybody is ordering online, but the problem is sometimes these people are not at home, right? So they need a place to store. So the apartment is actually basically a low cost apartment. So they do not have proper management system, like some high end apartments do, or condominiums do. So what I did was I actually I shared this idea with the SME to with the barber to convert his shop not only to be a hair salon, right, but also to be a place where people can just have a drop off and pick up as well. So it actually helped to basically open up another revenue stream for his barber shop. So this is like all these different new ideas that we should actually help all those different SMEs. So right now he's also earning an additional income, and then he could actually market because the whole apartment I think is around 1,000 people living there. So yeah, there's additional income for him. So these are all the different ideas that we can actually share. That's my solution, especially for SMEs and so forth in within the kawasan itself. So yeah.
Nice. Melvin?
No. Yes, I think it's definitely. I think it's for me. Probably for the senior, you also probably have a weekends or classes for them because the new norm is that people are now use to purchase through online. A lot of businesses, SMEs, small business has been actually affected. So it's also crucial for them to learn about it, to set their business online so they can manage it as well. So probably you could have classes in the evening or weekends or for the seniors, start with seniors or the small SMEs to start off with, to kick off the program with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good, definitely it's a good idea. I think also, I think you have a friend here, Mr. Fabian, who was saying that you have actually given very good suggestions to deter people from throwing garbage wherever they can. I think they love the idea that if they get caught, they do committee's work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fabian.
So basically, you have your pengawas in Melvin and Fabian as well, to sit by the side of the road to make sure that all the culprits actually
Yes.
pick up rubbish. So we got two free willing individuals to actually help you upon that. Okay, Jazz, we are running out of time, but we do want to give you an opportunity to shout out again. Should your potential future constituents, your rakyat, your people that you know for so long, in the area of N30 Jelutong in Sungai Pinang are watching us right now, what would you want to say to them that could reaffirm the fact that you are the right person for the job to bring them forward into the year 2023 and so on and so forth? Please.
Okay. Right.
No pressure. No.
Okay. All right. Well, you need someone young, fresh, and a fighter that would actually fight for you.
That's it.
There you go. That's it.
I wanted to give you 3 minutes of that. Okay, you're giving me 3 seconds, Jazz.
Punchline, that's all.
I be a bit offended lah. Sorry lah.
Oh,
I think
sorry.
it should not
Why
just
are you
be
offended?
young. It's just young, not necessarily young. You need a fighter like me. You need someone who volunteer assist. When I say, I feel our praise. Just joking.
I want to fight for you.
Okay. Again, Jess, I do want to apologize on Melvin's behalf. Okay, he sometimes, he get overexcited when it comes to this thing. But whatever it is, Jess, we are really truly honored for you to be our second guest, on YB Sehari show. You are the second guest. We do hope that you do accomplish what are the things that you have set your mind onto. And again, as you mentioned, and what we have heard as well, even if you don't get that chance, but you would still very much be part of the community and doing it for the community, for the rakyat, for the betterment of everyone else. Melvin, final words from you for Jess?
Yes, Jess, all the best for you. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that people go into politics for power and all these things. But I hope the new wave is different. It's actually to serve the communities, because I have to say they are not your riot. Those are your buddies. Those
Exactly.
are your families that you want to take care of, so that they will support you all the way. So all the best, Jess. We wish you that when it comes to Jurotong, do belanja us char kway
Okay,
teow.
definitely stopping you around Penang. Okay.
Meal favorite is char kway teow.
Okay, I would not have actually said that live when other people are actually watching us right now untuk belanja people. But yeah, again, murah rezeki, Jess. That's what I
Yes.
say, murah rezeki. Thank you so much, Jess, for coming on to the show. Really appreciate it, and hope to see you around soon. Right? Take care, Jess. Good luck.
Terima kasih,
Good
Mio.
Bye.
luck.
Bye.
Thanks, Jess.
Bye. Wow. Okay, that was Jazz Tan, one of the future members of Dun, or at least for
Dun,
Penang,
yes.
championing for the area of Sungai Pinang and 30 down in Pulau Pinang. So hopefully we do wish her all the best. And at least we have these young guns, these young people who really want to make a difference and who really, really, really wants to do it because for the sake of the people, of the buddies, of the families, as you mentioned, Melvin. Thank you so much for everyone who has been watching us since 12 o'clock earlier.
Yes.
We will definitely be back with another session of Hot Issue, What's for Lunch on a Wednesday. And with that, Melvin and I, we would like to say thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for watching
Yes.
us. And we hope to see you guys again on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
All right, Melvin,
yes.
say
Take care,
bye-bye.
everyone. Yes, take care, everyone.
Cheers.
See you on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.